How can I put this in a way that I'm not repeating myself? We all go through things in life, and hurting is a part of the healing process. And sometimes that pain, that hurting feeling, it doesn't get better. It's just more and more intense, but it makes you stronger, you know. And sometimes that strength can become scary, but then sometimes it can feel good. And when it feels good, that's when you begin to worry. There's this conversation I had with someone, and we were talking about how people make me mad, or how people, get on my nerves sometimes, and you explode to the point where you come to your senses of, oh wow, I just said that, and I admitted this to that person, and the person kind of shut down. I guess I scared that person, or I made that person feel afraid of me, and you don't know what it feels like to have somebody afraid of you, the person that you care about afraid of you. So as many times as we feel angry, or we feel superior, or we feel like, we can take on the world, you won't know just how bad it gets until you're facing a person that you know you wouldn't hurt, but at the same time, seeing that person withdraw from you or take some space from you hurts you more than that anger. That anger, I don't know how to put it. It's like that anger it can feel so good, and having the strength to take on the world, it feels good, you know, feeling like nobody can touch you, feeling like, nobody can come against you. No, if they fight you, you can take on that person. That boastful, egotistic, you know, feeling you get, of being superior, feeling superior. It feels good, don't get me wrong. But that's where God humbles you to the fact that, you know, you may not be afraid, but just looking at yourself, just picture yourself, imagine yourself as a trigger, that gun. They look at you as that gun, you know. Do you want to be looked at as a gun? Looked at as someone that can end somebody's life in an instant? Is that going to bring anybody closer to you? And even if you don't want anyone closer to you, what if you scare off the one that means the most to you? Scare off the one that been protecting you this whole time. You know, scare off the one that's been a shield for you this whole time. Then what? Then it's you all alone. You know? It's like that bird in the nest with the mother, you know, and that bird finally gets old enough and learns how to spread its wings and fly. Then that bird, the mother bird, don't have to worry anymore. It takes off. That bird, the little bird, takes off because, I'm grown up now. I can do it on my own. But at the same time, it's that one bird that fell from the nest before and broke its wings. Over time, it healed. and then it learned to fly. That mother bird will always worry about that bird. Up until that bird shows that mother bird, you have nothing to worry about, you know? But just because your wings has been healed doesn't mean you're not still broken. Just because you can fly again doesn't make that fall less scary. So with that being said, I'm going to go to um, something I was looking at earlier. There's some ways to cope with some mental problems or some things that you just can't get over. So yeah. We can always be healed on the outside and on the inside, but it's our experience that we carry along the way. So this is 27. No, this is 5 things I ask myself every day to help me manage my bipolar disorder. Living with a mental illness can be challenging over the years. Through all the ups and downs, I have learned to tune into myself and listen to what I need. I have found that I can manage my symptoms better, much better, with careful planning and a deep sense of self-awareness. As I have learned my triggers, I have learned to create a lifestyle and environment that helps stabilize me. In addition, I have learned how to avoid myself and set boundaries for situations that cause chaos and wreak havoc in my life. I try to make it a point to ask myself these 5 questions at various points throughout my day to help keep me on track and protect myself from a breakdown. What am I grateful for today? I try to start every day in gratitude. I like to do this first thing in the morning before I even get out of bed. This is especially important during depressive episodes. It helps to balance my natural negativity and give me something to keep grounded. What am I grateful for today? That's a question I can ask myself right now. I have many things I'm grateful for. I have many times I am grateful for. I have many experiences that I am grateful for. And I have children that I am grateful for. You know, I am very grateful for my life. It's just sometimes life can get in the way and cloud my judgment on how I really feel, because it's like something just foreshadowing, you know, that shadowy figure following you around to remind you your darkness, your dark shadow just following you around to remind you that even though the sun is out, I'm still here, because you have not fully recovered from me, you know. And even if you don't, sometimes your darkness is your friend. Sometimes you feel safer in the dark than the light, because light brings a lot of attention that the darkness doesn't. Sometimes you could be yourself in the dark. But sometimes that darkness can become scary, because in that dark place is where you were at the most vulnerable times in your life. And when you're vulnerable in a dark place, anything can attack you, you know, and the fact that you're alone in that dark place, you know. Your experiences can attack you. The bad times that you have with other people can attack you. So sometimes it's good to get out in the light, but at the same time, just know that, you know, don't be afraid of that shadow. You know, learn how to deal with it, learn how to grow with it, and learn how to fight off those bad times with what you're grateful for. You know, sometimes you got to put all that aside, put all that darkness aside, and focus on the now. And that's the best time to focus on the now. And sometimes having a mental disorder or mental illnesses, such as myself, it's not easy because you know you deal with a lot mentally. You think about everything, and it's so many experiences that just, like I said, clouds your judgment. And that's when you just have to figure it out, you know, the best way that you can and the best way that you know how to. Even if it means going back to that dark spot and sitting there with yourself until you can face this shadow. What do I need today? Every day is different, and I never know how I'm going to feel when I wake up. I have found it so important to reflect on what I need to do on any given day. Is it rest? Is it adventure? Is it time to get work done? Time alone. A conversation with a friend. Time to create. This question is especially important as I go into the day so I can figure out my expectations for the day and communicate those to my loved ones. What do I need today? You know, oftentimes it's hard to figure out what you need, and you got so much to do, and you know, even if you got all the time in the world, you still have so much to do. It's like, where do I start? I can go out and go shopping. I can go over here and, do my laundry. I need something. What do I need? Over all of these things are wants. These things are, eventually it has to get done. Eventually it will get done. So these are things you really don't worry about, like bills and stuff like that. You know it's going to get done eventually, you know, even if you forget, or even if you pay less attention to it, it's going to get done because it's a responsibility. And knowing that, it's like, okay, if I don't do it, this is going to happen. So you're going to automatically snap out of it and get it done. So what do you need? Not what do you want, what do you need? You know, what do you need right now? Put everything else aside. What do I need? Be selfish of you in this moment. What do I need? So going back to the questions, um, reflect on what I need to do. And so you take those questions and you single them out. Is it rest? Do I need rest? Reflect on that. Am I tired? How am I feeling? Um, pay attention to your body. Is rest? Is it adventure? Do I need something spontaneous to do? Something to get me up and motivated? Do I have a lot of adventure? Do I have a lot of energy in myself to where I need to step out and do something with that energy? Is it time to get work done? The same as adventure. If I got a lot of energy in me, I can use this energy to go get my work done. Is it time alone? I feel Maybe I do feel anxious, but at the same time, I feel like mentally exhausted. So maybe I do need time alone. Is it a conversation with a friend? Will a conversation with a friend um, help me express myself the way I need to? Is it time to talk to someone, or will talking to someone make you feel even more depressed about your situation, or make you feel negative in a way? If this is it, then you don't need that conversation. It's time to create. You got your creative juices flowing. You want to be artistic. You want to do something, you don't really feel that energy in your body so much, but you feel so, basically, something like you feel kind of, mind boggled. You need something. I was explaining this to someone the other day. I was like, well, sometimes when you're feeling angry and all you can see is red and nothing is helping that, sometimes painting or something with color can take that away from you. You know, you're focused on the ugly. You know, when a person gets you out of your character or make you feel, takes that light away or takes that beautiful moment away, and you don't you it sometimes something so beautiful can be so ugly inside. And maybe, you know, you've gotten to that you've got pulled into that point where some you feel so good and stuff, you know, just like I said, you feel so prideful and boastful, like you can take on a world and this and that. Maybe your spirit is ugly right now. Maybe you're focused too much on, you know, something so negative that you need some kind of color to remind you of how beautiful you actually are, how beautiful inside you are. This is you. Don't, um, don't, what's the word? Don't, dang, I just lost train of thought. Um, don't confuse what you're feeling or how you feel towards a certain someone, you know, in that moment. Don't confuse that moment with, you know, who you are. You know, you are this light, you are beautiful. So when someone tries to kind of tarnish you, you have to, you know, find that beauty in another place sometimes. Maybe go out there and paint something, the color yellow, the color green, something that just kind of revert your mind, backtrack your mind, kind of um, distract your mind, you know, from that moment. You know, if I paint something right now, or I paint just, you know, these colors will make me happy. These colors will take me out of my dark place. You know, I know this is impossible, but just imagine like the night sky, and out of the night sky, you're in the night sky, and all of a sudden you see this colorful rainbow, just vibrant. You know, I mean, yeah, just vibrant. You know, so it's taking you out of that dark place. The one time, you know, we was at this, you know, I was at that event with my son, and I was so angry. I felt so, you know, mad at a certain situation because, you know, they had cookies and stuff, like they was making, they had to decorate their cookies. And it's just like, I've seen everybody decorating cookies, and we've been sitting there for about 10 plus minutes. I'm just like, wow. You know, it is what it is, you know. They said they'll come around. They haven't came around. They taking their time. Go ahead and eat your cookie. Like, that made me mad because he couldn't decorate his cookie, so I just let him eat it. I was like, just go ahead and eat it because, you know, about time they come around, you know, it's going to be time's up for everything. So then eventually, like, he starts throwing a fit and this and that, and I'm just sitting there angry, you know. I keep asking them, where is the lady at, this and that, and they're like, you know, she'll come around, just sit there a little bit longer. And I'm just like, wow, you know, sometimes when you see everything happening, it's just like, it's obvious. Everybody getting their cookies, everybody getting their stuff, to their icing and stuff, they already got it, you know, where is the lady? You know, you start questioning, like, okay, so, you know, am I the problem? Like, you know, you feel discriminated, this and that. All this starts surfacing because of our trauma as humans. You know, we are so traumatized of being treated unfairly that now you're reverting back to that, and it's putting you in that mindset of, you know, I feel like this is unfair. You know what? It is what it is. Take it or leave it. And you know, that's why I was feeling that situation. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it. It is what it is. But my son kind of, you know, held me down, like, cause he was crying, and I'm just like, wow, okay, so I guess we'll wait here a little bit longer. Eventually, she came around, but that didn't get me out my mood. I was still upset when she showed up, but at the same time, there was this little, you know, reminder of what Christmas is. The Grinch came in and he handed me, you know, a piece, you know, gloves. Like, he didn't even speak. It was like a, you know, it was a costume, but at the same time, the way the Grinch, you know, it took me back to my childhood memories. I don't know, in that moment of, you know, when you used to read about the Grinch and this and that. And I'm like, maybe I'm later on I just thought I'm like, maybe I'm the Grinch in this moment, because I'm not getting things my way. And that's how I seen that too. The Grinch came up to me all innocently and gave me a pair of gloves, like, here you go. I'm like, oh, look at the Grinch. Like, it just took me out of my mood, and it took me back to my inner child. Like, oh, you know. And I just started, it got me out of that mood. So it takes little things like this to just kind of, get you out of that mode. Um, so that was, do I need, to create, time to create, to question. So these questions are important. It's important to get your day, you know, going in a better direction. So number 3, if I can only get one thing done today, what is it? I find I get depressed on days I feel I didn't accomplish anything. I feel that way all the time. I really, if I can't do anything, you know, can't get anything done, or, we're so pressed on getting stuff done because that's what we're conditioned. That's a conditioned mind. We feel like we always got to do something. So if we don't do something, we feel like we haven't accomplished anything, and that can really discourage us right then and there. So I like to check in with myself and see what I want to get done on any given day. Maybe it's just I want to take a shower today, or I want to write a chapter from my book, or I want to get a specific thing done for work. If I don't check in with myself and have that conversation, I am more likely to get disappointed with myself at the end of the day and feel like a failure or get depressed or anxious. So if I can get one thing done today to kind of get me out that funk, what would it be? And this can be just going out and getting yourself a beverage. Going out and getting, dinner, a little meal for dinner, just to get your day, to feel like you did something. Getting up and washing your face. Something simple as that can make all the better. Getting up and eating something, make you feel better. Make it about yourself, you know. Get up and vacuum the floor. Get up and make your bed. Start with simple things. If you can do one thing to change your overall mood, though, focus on that question specifically. If I can do one thing that'll make all the difference right now, today, what would it be? Number 4, what can I take off my plate today so I can get the most important thing done? I have come to learn those busy days that are packed full of things to do not work. I have come to learn those busy days that are packed full of things to do not work well for me. They tend to cause stress and irritability, and that triggers episodes of anxiety, depression, anger, mania, and the like. There is always something I can take out of the day, but if I don't stop, look at my schedule, and see what I can move and shift, I will get caught in chaos, which is never good for me. I have learned to set boundaries and have learned to be okay with changing appointments around and saying no to something I know will end up causing problems for me later on. So when you have a lot that you're carrying, just one little thing can taking something off of your plate can make that plate lighter. You're carrying something like, in your bag that's just like, okay, so let's say you going to school. You got all these classes to focus on. You got your books, you got your folder, you got your pencils, whatnot, and then you got your baseball bat and your softball. What can you take off of there that kind of, but you don't play sports. Like, this isn't the day for you to play sports, but sometimes you like going out and playing sports, at the end of every class. At the end of the day, you like to go out and play sports. Well, maybe today you'll have to take out that baseball bat and that softball and set it down because you have too much going on. Or there was something else I was going to say with that. Or let's say you got your exercise and stuff. You know, you got your exercising bag, you got your suitcase for business, and you know, a lot of it's just you just carrying too much. Or you got your, you know, golf club case with you. You know, what can you take away from the situation that just won't be too heavy? You can always do this later on. So what's important right now? You know, let's say you're headed to the golf course and you don't have work until later, but you want to take your work stuff with you just in case you be late or something. Sometimes it takes a sacrifice, you know. If you want to play golf, go ahead and focus on what you want to do now. Leave your bag behind. Leave that your suitcase behind. This is just make it easier to kind of build you. You know, this is a lesson learning experience as well. You know, you leave your business bag behind, then you know you spend the right amount of time at the golf course. You know that if you go over time, you know, at the golf course, you won't make it to work. So you become stricter with yourself. It's a self-controlling moment. You know, soon soon time is up at the golf course. You know, it's basically training your mind to become responsible. Okay, so soon as we're done here, I need to go home, get ready for work, and then go there. It kind of, you know, you're becoming flexible, you know, with yourself. You're becoming flexible and responsible. You know, you don't want to miss work because you spent too much time at the golf course. But doing it this way is you can spend that time at the you can kind of just work with the schedule. Spend that time at the golf course. If you got a shower there, you can shower there. But if not, spend that time, kind of go home, get ready for work, shower, and then go to work. Like, it makes sense that way instead of carrying everything on your back. And then it's just like, how am I supposed to do all this? You know? So, yeah, something like that. The next, number 5. Where can I find time for rest today? I tend to forget to recharge and let myself get burnt out. And the burnt out me is not a pretty sight. I have tried to make it a point to focus on self-care and find time and space for rest. I believe that healing comes in the quiet. If we don't stop and let ourselves rest and replenish, we can never really heal or flourish. Along with my illness, I juggle motherhood, marriage, and a career. There are always a million excuses for why I can't rest or don't have time to stop. But for the sake of my health, I know I have to sometimes. Rest is just a cup of tea in the afternoon. Or maybe it's a yoga class, dinner with my friend, or a bath. On good days, it's an afternoon at my favorite tea shop, alone, or sitting on a blanket in a park and writing. There are so many ways to find and create rest during the day, but if I don't stop and seek it, I won't find it. You know? If you don't, you can be on your way to work going to, you know, doing what you got to do, but all that, you still have extra time. So it's just like, instead of rushing to work knowing you're going to be early or knowing that you got all the time in the world, why don't you just take your time, walk slowly, you know, there may be a bench right there, you can go sit down at the bench. Seek a place that's close to your destination, you know, to take a time for time out. You know, sometimes when I feel like I'm pushing myself too much, I stop and I just take my time. And like, if there's a coffee shop right there and I know, you know, I'm a little bit too early, I'll go sit in that coffee shop. There's plenty of opportunities around you, but you just have to be available to them. Sometimes you just got to push pause on yourself, break hit that break on yourself and just step back into the moment, you know. Take time away from your mind, you know, and just reflect. Like, okay, I am early. I am going to be early. So just take your time, and you don't know what. Somebody might stop you in your tracks and y'all can talk. That can be a break. You know, sometimes um, taking a break can be, you know, anybody coming in your path and kind of, you know, distract you or anything. It depends on what you see as a break. So like I said, just take your time, and you know, it took a lot of time for me to do that, to recondition my mind, especially when I was working and I knew I would be early. I would just, you know, spend that extra time doing something, you know, beneficial, you know, and I got better. So it's just like, okay, I'm going to be early and I'm always here at this certain time. Well, time to change up my schedule. You know I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here early, so add some other stuff into your schedule until, you know, you get to work. The more you do it, the more consistent you'll be, and the more you'll realize that, hey, I'm always on time. You know, I'm never late, and you know, it just starts to make sense for you if you take your time. You know, don't be in a rush to get out the door. Don't be in a rush to get there. Go with the flow, you know. That's what I used to do. Just go with the flow, and then everything will just come to you. Even that time for break, in the midst of you getting to where you need to go. Especially when you feel like you're already going to be early. These questions can be helpful regardless of what you are dealing with. They have especially come in handy for me as I have dealt with grief and loss, and they have given me a rhythm for my day, giving you a rhythm. If you find yourself struggling through the day, stop and add these questions to your daily routine. They have consistently helped me to gain insight and stay ahead of emotional episodes and breakdowns. Hopefully, they too will help guide you and guide you through your life journey. The verse of the day is reminding you that there is nothing wrong with having mental illness. So yeah, with that being said, this is just something to turn to when you feel like I felt like I was just, you know, I felt kind of down on myself, and I knew that this would help me, and me helping, I knew that it would help me, but it also can help somebody else as well if we do it together. So yeah, y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Like, comment, subscribe, be notified, and share at your own free will to show you care. Bye.